Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Teachers of God Foundation Friday morning, A Course in Miracles. I don't know, study group doesn't quite feel right to me. This started about 4 years ago as a study group, and it's just way bigger than that. It's just a love fest. That's right. Yeah, it's an experiential coming together, and we're so glad to have you here on live stream. We're so glad to have everybody here in person. You've probably received an email saying that Dave Tompkinson was going to be teaching this morning, and he's not going to make it. He's still alive. He's still alive. Yeah. He had some minor surgery. He's okay, but he couldn't make it. But we will absolutely reschedule that. But the good news is that we have Bill Free here to teach. So, and you all know Bill Free. He's the most dedicated, loving, giving, awake guy I know. So we're so lucky to have you teaching here. What's new? Oh, we have a new video that is so good by Lisa Natoli. It's really short, and it's What is A Course in Miracles? So it's really explaining A Course in Miracles to anybody. People who've never known what it is, people who want to know what you're doing, what it's about. Sometimes it's difficult to really give them that overview in a way and, talking about the difference between what it feels like to live in fear and what it feels like to live in love, and giving people the opportunity to hold themselves in love and stay there for 40 days. So we're so totally excited about it. So please come. You will love it. I think if you pay, you get them for both days. We'll be there Saturday and Sunday. And are there any more tickets for San Francisco?
We have 8 tickets left.
Okay, so there's 8 tickets left for the Course in Miracles conference this year.
And our tickets are $150 discount right
There's
now.
$150 tickets for our 8 tickets that we have.
$150 discount. Because the tickets are right now, I think, at $549, and ours are $400 or something like that. Yeah. So but you can go on the website, you can see how much our tickets are, and you'll see that the price that is that they have the tickets for right now, it's going up like $50 a month.
Oh, wow. Okay, so great. So go onto our website under events, and you will find the tickets. And I don't know if you've ever been to a Course in Miracles conference, but it is awesome. I leave so changed and so unencumbered. It's in February, and you get to hang out with a bunch of people on this journey with you. People who are new to A Course in Miracles, people who have been doing it forever, all sorts of different teachers, topics. You find exactly what fits for you. And it is just been some of the greatest, profound weekends I've ever spent. So we get to hang out together, we get to eat meals together, drink coffee and laugh and pray and hang out. So if that's something you want to do, there's 8 more tickets. Yeah. And now I'm so excited. Bonnie is back from her knee surgery. Oh, I just want to, David, if you're watching, we all send you well wishes, and we love you, and we hope you heal up real quick. Bonnie is back from her knee surgery and healing up beautifully, and she is going to read from the Cafe Gratitude book for us today.
Nope, okay. I just want to make sure I'm centered. Am I centered? You're so centered. Okay, I'm centered, so I want you all to close your eyes and take a nice deep breath. Put your hand on your heart, whatever feels good to you center in. And I'm going to read this by Ann Wilson Schaaf. And so I want you to take this in. Who I am is what I have to give. Quite simply, I must remember this is enough. What have you been avoiding taking on? We all have things to offer. We have our light. Some of us are just here to be the light. And don't forget that you are very important. I love you all.
What else? Okay, so I just want to introduce Bill, who He flew in yesterday from 9 days in California to see Byron Katie. He got in at 2:00 this morning, and we just found out late yesterday that David was not going to be able to make it. So he's like, I asked Bill, I said, "Do you feel up to coming in and stepping in?" And his response was, "Sure." So that's one of the reasons I love you so much. I don't even know what his topic is. Maybe he doesn't either, but I'm looking forward to it. So welcome, Bill Free.
We have a mic? Okay, good. Okay, great. Well, thank you guys. And thank you, live streamers. I just want to say thanks for hanging in there with us. And we have, it's so funny, we've had brand new video people. Arthur, thank you for doing the awesome job that you're doing. But we haven't really trained him. We haven't really trained Arthur, and Bonnie has a brand new knee. Welcome back, Bonnie. I'm so happy to see you. And the technology, if you don't know like I've been doing this, I figured it out. It took me a couple of months at home before we ever opened up live streaming here. And I've really been inside and out of it. So I see the problems right away. And the things that happen, if you don't plug this in, this happens. If you don't plug that in, that happens. If you don't hit this button, that happens. And you guys got like 3 of those samples this morning. When the sound went off, we didn't click the sound on for you. And when the camera went down, it's because the plug was in the wrong outlet in the camera. So the camera went down. So these things are not like, so they're just things that happen. And the thing that you want to do when this stuff happens in all areas of our lives, all the time. SHIT happens. You know, it happens. I'm not supposed to cuss on air, so I'm going to spell it. How's that? Good? Yeah. So when that stuff happens, the practice that we're committed to is to having that self that we are to be driving when the SHIT happens, so that we continue to, we know things are happening. We know, this conference, this person comes up and says, where's my money, man? You said you were going to loan me some money, or give me some money, or you owe me some money. Where's my money? Or when are you going to pay? I need my money. Or why'd you do that? Or you, blah, blah. When all of these SHIT things happen, when these things happen, it's up to us to have an experience of the peace of God in the midst of that. Where's your peace? Your peace is always present. It's always present. And when the stuff happens, your peace is still active. It's still allowing you to access it all the time. And it was so funny to me to watch what happens. 3 times I got called to the back. I'm getting ready to come up and talk, and the technology breaks down. And you know what I noticed about me? I was holding my peace. But every single time when I go to the back, I still had the peace. And I love you guys live streaming, but if we go off the air, I love you anyway. Namaste. You're awesome. Hold your peace when we go off the air. Also, this is for me. This is for you. And there's the application of the course in how does a teacher of God spend his day? How does a light worker spend her day? How does a being show up in the world 24/7? We show up as the peace, presenting itself as the peace in the midst of chaos. And the way that happens, it doesn't happen if you just, if you're doing this like because you're curious about spirituality, or you're curious about the Course in Miracles, or Buddhism, or non-duality, the direct path, whatever it is. If you're just curious about it, you're probably going to be in chaos all the time. But if you're connected, if you're committed, if you're devoted, and if you're doing the practice or the process of what the Course says in How Does a Teacher of God Spend Her Day, is you start your day in quiet. You start your day and you end your day. Those are two suggestions. As a teacher of God starts her day, his day, in this quiet listening. In quiet. I received God's word today. And that's where I'm going to start our day. I'm going to start our day in a quiet place, a meditative place, in just a minute. But first, because once, even now as I describe entering into the quiet space, we're all starting to move there, right? Everybody noticing how as soon as we start to talk about moving into that quiet place, all of a sudden the being is being accessed, is being called in to take the place of what is the person identity or the carnal self. And before we go there, I want to just say I did the coolest thing yesterday. I don't know where the Cafe Gratitude book went, but on the way to the airport, no, I don't want it, but on the way to the airport yesterday, I called an Uber. We left, now for you guys on live stream, you guys probably know that we were with Byron Katie for 9 days, and Lisa and I and a few other people, Nancy Fitzgerald and Ruthie was with us, and this other guy from somewhere in Massachusetts. Where's Mark from? Oh, Burlington. Huh?
Joe Fielder was there.
Joe Fielder was there, and I'm telling you, here's my overall assessment of the work. And it's not a retreat, although it is a retreat. I was corrected to say I'm going on a retreat. Byron Katie and one of her staff people that I've known for a long time said, Bill, it's not a retreat. It is not a retreat. And it's not a retreat. It is deep diving inquiry. And I have to say, the work of Byron Katie is the deepest I've ever gone, and the most profound. I mean, it brings you into. There's maybe a couple of questions that you don't ask, but you definitely go into bringing every question to doubt, every kind of idea that you have about yourself, every kind of belief. It gives you sampling that is so broad that I don't think I've never been involved in anything that was even close to it. And I used to in the course, in going to Muji, Rupert, I love all of those things, and the course hasn't changed for me. I mean, course is still my first love and form, but as far as having the experience of looking at my deepest beliefs and things that I don't want to talk about and the things that I don't want to even look at, man, Katie just brings it right out and says, okay, is everybody ready to look at this? And then talk to your partner about it and undo it. So it's a total process of undoing all limited beliefs, all personal self-identity, all gender specific or just whatever, just your own limited beliefs. And also, not only that, it's like she uses a metaphor of a pebble or a grain of sand that's that's at the bottom. This tiny little thing that's all of this other stuff is stacked on top of. And you're not paying attention to that tiny little. And when you don't pay attention to that tiny thing, all of these other other things build up and build up and build up. And what happens is when your peace is disturbed, you for some reason you react and you don't know why, and it's because that little tiny little thing that you're not paying attention to or you're dismissing is veiling you from the peace of God that you are, from the truth that you are. And just to sort of close on my experience with Katie, I'm sure you'll hear it and see it, because my life, you'll hear it and see it from now forward, because I have never been to an experience that was as profound and as deep and was as deeply knowing as the experience of the 9-day work with Byron Katie. It was I used to think Tony Robbins was the top of the top, like total transformation guy, because I went to him in 1995 and my life went from, this born again fundamentalist Christian to like I was open to everything. And I went to Hawaii with him for 10 days. I went to Virgin Islands for 2 weeks. I was with Tony Robbins. I was a shoveler. I shoveled coals for several firewalk experiences, and he was the high point of like, wow. Before the course, that allowed me to let go of my fundamentalist, the things that were kind of holding me to that fundamentalist identity. Tony Robbins opened me up to be open to science of mind, the Kabbalah, and then the disappearance of the universe and the Course in Miracles. So that was my highest high. And I'm coming back from Byron Katie, and I'm going, wow, I have a whole brand new high. Because Byron Katie's thing, it's way, way up here. If that was my highest, it's so high. I mean, it's way up here. And my experience is that I have these very simple tools from the work from Byron Katie. I have these very simple tools to do what the Course is telling me to do. I have these very simple tools and it's like 4 questions and then a turnaround. And then when the turnaround it's like the bonus, because now you're seeing you. Now you're seeing what's the grain of sand. Now you're seeing the pebble, because the first 4 questions are raising the illusion to doubt. The first 4 questions are raising the illusion into the awareness of the being that you are, into the awareness of the self. So the first 4 questions bring it to illumine it to the experience of looking at it with the Holy Spirit, looking at it with the essential self that you are, and from there, it's just shining that light on it. It's shining the light of presence on it. That's in that meditative state, by inviting that light in, by asking the question, okay, I'm ashamed of myself because I played with myself when I was 10 years old. Okay, now I'm just using an example. I'm ashamed of myself. And, little things like that happen to boys or girls or whatever. That's just a thing. And if it's, since that's sexual, it's like, fuck, I'm not going to tell anybody that I have this idea. And it goes, that little thing goes up into your adult life. You keep having that. That's that grain, that little thing that you don't want to talk about and you're ashamed of. You definitely are not going to talk to anybody about it. You might tell us, your partner, or you might tell somebody, your best friend or somebody, but you just don't want people to know about this. And when you are in this state, and this is why the practice of how does the teacher of God spend her day is so important, is developing the practice of coming into this quiet presence, Because now you're in touch with the true self identity. Now you're in touch with the true identity of being. And now, and when you do this in the mornings and you practice doing it whenever it's brought into your awareness, to your memory, oh, I just want to be quiet for a minute. Oh, yeah, wow. So healing. And even, you notice when I quit talking and it got quiet, how like whew, everything comes into that experience of stillness. And now when you access that takes a practice. It takes an undoing to say to the mind that's saying, oh, I got this to do, got that to do, that hurts, oh, I'm hungry. The mind is just doing, it's doing its thing. You must change the default that has given the mind the mental wheel, the monkey mind. You have to, the stillness stills that, so that when you come into this state of awareness, and what is it that is aware of this experience? It just shuts the mind off right there. What is it that is aware of this experience? Now you bring that question into mind. I played with myself when I was 12 years old. I feel ashamed. And you now, from this state of mind, you say, is it true? Is it true that I'm ashamed of myself? And you can drop the specifics. I mean, you just take the one belief, you try to bring it down into a short little segment. Is it true that I'm ashamed of myself? Forget about the story that's connected to that. And you might say yes. You might say, yes, I'm ashamed of myself for that. And then the second question says, can you absolutely know that it's true that you're ashamed of yourself? And you're not just saying, oh yes. You're allowing that meditative state of being that you are, because you practice in the morning and you practice pausing and being still. And because of that, when you ask the question the second time, is it absolutely true that I am ashamed of myself?
You are ashamed
right now. Keep it in now.
Right. That I'm ashamed. And you're also bringing yourself to to the experience. And so now, while the light is turned on, you're asking the question. You're bringing the illusion to a question, while the essential self has been invited in and is like present. And then the facilitator that's with you says, what is your reaction when you have the thought that you are ashamed of what you did when you were 10 years old? What is your reaction to that? And then you invite the client, or you invite yourself, if you're doing it for yourself, how do I feel when I believe the thought that I'm ashamed of myself for what I did when I was 10 years old? Now you've brought the question into doubt, and you brought it into the altar of truth, where the Holy Spirit, or the light that you are, or the being, or the presence is now looking at this thought as you, and as this as you're bringing this question into this experience, what is your reaction? Now you're looking at all of the emotions that go along that have supported this false belief that you are ashamed of this. Now you're looking at all of the emotions. Now you've written down, you've described, oh, I feel like I don't want anyone to know this because it's going to make me feel, it's going to make me, first of all, I'm ashamed of it, and I feel terrible shame. I feel guilty. I feel like no one will want to talk to me. It's like who I am. People think I'm a pervert or something, or all kinds of things happen to me. So now you've brought the reaction into this other question, into this. Okay, so identify the feelings that go with this belief, and all the time this is happening, you're bringing this experience into the presence of the Holy Spirit, into the illumination of the light. That is, as the question is being looked at, the light is shining the light of truth onto this illusion, and it's dissolving back into the nothingness that it came from, which came from me. It came from my own belief about it, and my own, the Son of God, the child of God, the girl of God has made it real and given it an identity that's mine, that it now has my personal self-identity attached to it. Now it's coming into it's being seen by the light, and now the light is dissolving it into the nothingness that it came from. And the final question is, who would you be without the belief or without the thought that I am ashamed of myself and for what I did when I was 10 or 12 years old, or put 30 on it, or put whatever. And it doesn't matter what it is. Who would you be without that thought? Okay, so the thought doesn't exist now. The thought is gone. And now you're looking at it, it goes, wait a minute, the thought is gone that I'm ashamed? The thought is gone that I'm ashamed of that. Okay, if the thought was gone that I'm ashamed of that, then, wow, I'm totally free. I'm happy. I'm present. All of those ideas of emotional baggage and attachment that I gave to that one belief, they don't exist. They don't exist. And so none of that stuff that I attached to it exists. I'm free. I have the peace of God. I'm not carrying that grain of sand in my shoe anymore. I'm not carrying that pebble. I'm not walking on that pebble that has all those other things layered on top of it. And I'm totally free. And it's just, and so right there, if you stop there, you've done what the Course calls forgiveness. If you stop right there, you've brought the illusions into question. You brought the illusions to doubt. You've judged it correctly. Never occurred. Never happened. And that's what Jesus says in the Course is the correct use of judgment. That we will all use, we'll all access that with every thought that holds us to the identity of person. And then there's this thing called the turnaround, where you'll say, okay, let's turn that thought around. I'm not ashamed. Or I am ashamed. I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed. Okay, I can accept that. I'm not ashamed. So now all of a sudden, that thing that was holding you down here, it doesn't have any power anymore. So you're able to turn that belief, that thought around with the certainty of your true self. You're able to turn that thought around with the with the it doesn't have any. It's not holding. It doesn't have anything to hold on to. So if you turn that thought around, you would say, "Okay, I'm not ashamed," or my belief in that thought that I was ashamed. My belief about that thought is not true. How would I support that? Can anyone else think? Can anyone think of a way that you would turn that around, like an opposite? Or my thought about where the easiest one is the opposite of it. I'm not ashamed, and that's the truth. Can anyone think of a different way that you would turn that around? That belief. Chris? Oh, let me give. Can we give Chris the mic?
I don't know if it's on.
Here we go.
For me, as you were sharing that, what comes to mind is to affirm what I truly am. I am the innocent child of God. And as I proclaim that transmute any shame and guilt to the truth of what I am currently proclaiming. So for me, that's how that works for me. Thank you for allowing me to share that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Monica?
So what I like to do with this, and I do this work a lot, but what I found that is helpful is to come up with, I'm not ashamed, right? That's the new thought. And reasons why.
Yeah.
Three examples.
There's supposed to be
examples.
three. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. So I didn't know if that was part of it, or I do it all the time that way because it reinforces the fact that the truth is true and nothing else is true. You're not ashamed, you know.
Not shameful.
Not shameful. You're just thinking thoughts of shame, but you are not the shame, and you're not that, you know,
Guilty.
you're not guilty of any of it. But you have to really look at the reasons why you're not ashamed. I think, and they're not conceptual though. I think it really has to come from you in the moment that you're asking, why is it that I'm not ashamed?
Well,
You know, it's not stuff you learn in a book. It's something that has to come out from within you.
right.
Does that make
Right.
sense?
Yeah, it does.
It's an
It does.
experience,
Yeah.
rather.
But you actually don't use why am I not ashamed in that question. You really are now not asking a question, why am I not ashamed? Because the ego will run with that. What you do is you say, okay, let me look at from this state of presence, of awareness, what supports this idea? What is it that supports this idea? So you're only looking from there, and you're really looking, you're not in a hurry. You're looking from this place of just listening, just quiet, present listening. And from this listening place, what other ways can I see that support this, that I'm not ashamed? And you allow spirit, you allow presence to reveal what supports that thought. And Laura had her hand up, so I'm going to see what Laura.
I'm so glad you did this. Really. So grateful for you to do this. This is awesome. I was with Byron Katie about 2.5 years ago. I spent 4 days with her up in Big Sur, and she took me up on the stage and did the turnaround on my daughter. She blew me wide open, where Course in Miracles couldn't get me to that point. AA couldn't get me to that point. Anybody that's in AA, this coincides with, if you've ever done a 4-step, you know this. This is the turnaround. In the 4th step, it's called the turnaround, where you write your resentment. You go all the way back to when you're 5 years old, or most of your resentments, like you just brought yourself to a childhood thing. And the turnaround are the 4 questions that Byron Katie uses. What's the lie you told yourself? How did you really feel about it? How would you feel if it was different? and you turn it around on, what was actually happening, because we're full of resentment. So there's step 4. That's what keeps people sober. If you don't do a thorough step 4, you're a maniac. You become a maniac, just not drinking.
So can you think of another turnaround?
Yeah. So with Byron Katie, where she would bring me is what you were saying too. Not to question it in effect, but bringing it to my inner source, like closing my eyes and saying, what's another thing? Okay, so I'm not ashamed. I'm not shameful. God does my source.
What supports it, though? What supports the thought? What supports the new idea?
Right. So give me think of some examples, is what she would say to me, that this would make you feel, give me one. She would say, give me one, when I was up on the stage. Okay. And I gave her one, and the one.
Well, I would say that I'm not ashamed of that, because all kids do that. That's just
right.
a natural evolution of growing up, and you are learning about the body.
That's right. And then the Byron ego Katie would say, no, give me 2, because if you've got one, you've got 2. So what's one? If you've got one, you've got 2. And all of her facilitators kept teaching people that. If you've got one, you've got 2. What's the second one?
Yeah.
A second one, is that my source doesn't see any shame. It's all love. It's who I am. It's who I came here to be. And then she'd say, okay, if you've got 2, you've got 3. That's where she brings you to, because your mind, that's the ego that Course in Miracles is teaching too, that's trying to stop you. It's the same thing when you're writing a 4th step in AA. It's trying to stop you, and doing that and doing this and doing Course in Miracles. This is all of us trying to get that ego to calm down, lay down, shut up, let in my inner being. And if I can find 1, I can find 2, I can find 3.
Yeah.
And now I'm free.
Well, you're free if you find you're free anyway.
One.
But the supporting affirmations is what they are. Because the Course talks about denials and affirmations. That's what this work does.
But you probably even saw through her work that you hold on to things that you don't even know are still there. It's the same thing when you're in AA. Until you do this thorough 4th step and you see 5 notebooks that you've been holding onto you, even though you thought you were spiritual, carrying it like a bag of rocks.
Yeah.
You finally drop the rocks. There's actually a book called Drop the Rocks. You drop the rocks and you can be free. And then you're led to these other things. This is what I've been saying all along. I do love how Michael Mirdad says, don't be a spoke. Don't just be AA. Don't just be Course in Miracles. Be the hub in the middle. Let the spokes come into you by your inner guide, and you will be guided to each thing that's going to open you more. Like you just said, one more level. She brought me to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Abraham brings me to a whole nother level. Course of Miracles brought me to a level that AA couldn't. It was all those things that just keep raising you up because you're a light worker.
Right.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Hi.
Kelly.
I just wanted to say thank you so much for doing this teaching today too. Byron Katie's been coming at me from all different directions in the past couple of months, from the coaching that I'm doing with Monica to turning on my starting my car and having it just randomly pull it out of my iTunes, and Byron Katie's up on the stage doing the work with somebody on a CD that I forgot I had and put into my iTunes and never listened to, and different things. So I'm using it a lot in my own work, in my own psychotherapy practice and my coaching practice that I'm starting. And it's really incredible. And what I love about it is I'm a very much of a Course in Miracles student, and it is my theology and it's what I live by. But I love how Byron Katie enables you to do the work of the Course in Miracles, as you're talking about. What she does is gives you the tools, some other tools to get to the place of looking at your thoughts and bringing your thoughts to illusion. So I love how you're saying this and how you're describing it.
Yeah.
And I just think it's incredibly valuable.
Yeah. Thank you.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Can I just say something real quick? Thanks.
Yeah.
So I love hearing this. I've been reading. I'm on this last book on the second run. I'm like doing the work for breakfast, and like she suggests, and I'm loving it. And so like as we work with A Course in Miracles and we unblock the love that we are, we live differently. If everything looks differently, we show up differently. So with Byron Katie's work, I love those out of the 4 questions, the last 2, because how does this one thought affect your life? Even if it's about somebody else or whatever it is, and you get to write down all the ways that you see how you just really aren't showing up fully. If it's about somebody else that you think that they should be different, and I get to look at how I am in the room with them, how I don't see them, how I don't listen, how I'm not guided, how I'm not open and awake and present with them. And then how would I feel without the thought? You get to see the effects that this thought has had on you for your whole life in every room that you stood in. So that just those 2 questions alone, that one thought, how it's changed everything. And that's just the undoing that we're doing in A Course in Miracles. So it's been so profound for me too. So to do it for 9 days, I'm so jelly.
Oh, you're jealous. There's a sheet there.
Jealous in the best possible way.
Yes, I know. I know. I got that.
Jealous in a good way.
Yeah. Thank you guys for that. And I have what?
I said she's got the 4-day thing too that you can do.
Yeah. So there was so many experiences from that 9 days that I'm not even going to try to get into it right now. I just want to give a sort of an overview of that, and then I found in the course, there's I was reminded there's so much of the course that speaks to what Katie has been, she downloaded these questions from an enlightened mind, downloaded these questions for the world to remove the blocks to love's presence, so that everyone could have this enlightened experience, this peace that passes understanding, this love and this joy and this presence, and not be bogged down and prisoner to their own belief system, their own beliefs about what they think they are and what they think the world is. And she's reduced these, the enlightened mind, the awakened mind is reduced, brought down into the finite mind to what's keeping the finite mind, what's keeping the personal self-identity in place. And it's these, and what can undo the identity or the beliefs that's keeping that identity in place. And these 4 questions were given to her from her inspired Christ mind, which we are also that same Christ mind. We're not separate. We're not different. This was just her part, just like Helen's was to scribe this book. And so it's been reduced into the simple practice for undoing, so that you can understand how easy the process is. It really is and especially and this is why this can't be a hobby for you. This can't be something that you are curious about. This has to be something that you're devoted to, and you're willing to go as deep and as far as it takes to get to the bottom of that grain of sand that you are holding you prisoner to, mostly because you don't know about it. You don't know how. You don't know it's there. You don't know there's a way out of hell, and so this practice is available to us so that we can actually be the enlightened self, just like Katie is, and like millions of people are. I don't feel like this is a minority. I mean, it is a minority in terms of 7 billion people, but this is the Great Awakening, and this practice is just Katie's part, like the course was Bill and Helen's part, and now is our part. Because when you look at the manual for teachers, it talks about in the at the end of the 365 workbook lesson, Jesus says, okay, now go out and share this. Go out, and that's why I'm sitting right here. And I would never have done this. In my lifetime, I would never get up there and teach that spiritual stuff. But you know why I'm doing it? Because I am so enlightened by it. I know that it works. I know that it's the real deal. This is what Jesus was telling his disciples. And I think the only one that got it was Mary Magdalene. I think she was the only one. This is just my theory, is that she was probably the only one that really got it at that time.
Can I just say one
Oh, yeah.
thing?
Linda?
I just find it so mind-blowing that, when this came to Byron Katie, she never ever had a spiritual teacher. She wasn't religious, she wasn't spiritual, nothing. Lisa asked her about Course in Miracles. She's like, oh, maybe I'll check it out. Like, no, she doesn't know what it is. And she is in her work is in total alignment with the Course, with the Bhagavad Gita, with the Diamond Sutra, with the truth. It's truth. So, but she was suffering to such a high level that this just broke through. The truth just broke through because it just is what it is. So anyway, she didn't learn this anywhere. It just came through her. And I love that. It's in all of us.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's what the Course says about this in just one little paragraph in chapter 2. Jesus says, the first step towards freedom, which is what we're talking about, involves a sorting out of the false from the true. This is a process of separation in the constructive sense and reflects the true meaning of apocalypse. Everyone will ultimately look upon his own creations and choose to preserve only what is good. Just as God himself looked upon what he had created and knew that it was good, which was the meaning of, that New Testament verse that says, and said, this is good. Yeah. God created heaven and earth and said this was good, right? And at this point, the mind can begin to look with love. And that's the process of looking with love. That's why the mind is being invited into that meditative state. And that's why we're creating a new default, a new neural pathway in the physical, in the biological aspect, where when we practice our morning quiet time, Course talks about that. And it's not a rule, it's a guideline to awakening. It's a guideline to inner peace. And when he says that at this point the mind can begin to look with love on its own creations. So these false beliefs are the mind's own creations. All of these things are the mind's own creations. They're not separate from us. And so when you say the ego, it's like that's not separate from you. It's the mind's miscreation. And it says, at this point, the mind can begin to look with love on its own creations because of their worthiness. Because of their worthiness. These miscreations are worthy to be looked on. At the same time, the mind will inevitably disown its miscreations. So at the same time, it's disowning these miscreations, which without belief will no longer exist. So when you're bringing these questions into the experience of presence of your true self, you are dissolving your own miscreations without separating yourself from the original love and truth that you are. You're bringing the illusion to doubt, and you're not separating yourself, but it says the mind will inevitably disown its miscreations, which without belief will no longer exist. And that's how simple it is. It's just that simple. And this is why when you go back to this is the last 5 workbook lessons in the course, 361 to 365. I don't need that.
I did that all day.
You did?
Yes.
I liked your outfit last week. That was cool. You witch.
Gotta spell that.
You are so, I mean, you got all the, like, you're so, you have all these things like the boomerang and the summer camp and the,
Jesus.
you're amazing, Kelly. So here's the last 5 lessons in the workbook are the same one. It says, this holy instant would I give to you. Be you in charge, for I would follow you, certain that your direction gives me peace. Now, just really break this down. This holy instant is that moment of looking. This holy instant is that pause and that stillness and inviting the question to truth. Is that true? You don't need a partner. You don't even need a worksheet. Once you get the questions down, you can have them running in your mind. When you have a fear thought, when you have a shame thought, when you have a thought of judgment, even when it comes to looking at this mic, we think this is a mic, right? Is that true? All objective reality needs to be brought to truth. And so you look at objects, if you look at this as just a glaze, well, if you look at it individually, picture, 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 picture. But if you look at it as the presence of being, as awareness that is aware of the experience of noticing, well, you're no longer naming all these things, and you're just being the being. You are being your divine self. You are being, even when you close your eyes and you hear the voice that's speaking right now, even that is being noticed. The sound, even the listening. There's a listening occurring there is an awareness of the listening. And it says, and if I need a word to help me, it, awareness, presence, the Holy Spirit, divine nature, the light, will give it to me. If I need a thought, that will he also give. And if I need but stillness and a tranquil, open mind, these are the gifts I will receive of him. He is in charge at my request, and he will hear and answer me, because he speaks for God, my Father, and his Holy Son. And I'm just going to, just think about that. There's so much content in that one paragraph right there. There's so much content. But what it's saying is to come into this acknowledging presence. Come into this acknowledging presence of your being. Right now. It's in the quiet, it's in between the words, it's that silent presence of being. And I'm going to invite everyone to just be quiet, to close your eyes if you feel comfortable with that. And you can put your hand on your heart if it anchors you in any way. And I'm just going to invite everyone to join me in this quiet presence. this experience of being. So I'm just going to invite you to just relax right now. Just relax the neck and the shoulders and the arms and the bottom. Just allow it to just relax right where it is. All the body parts, the legs, and calves, the feet, even the toes. Just relax every part of the body. And be present in the self. Be present in awareness. Awareness is this quiet place that's in the background of all experience. It's always there. It's always right here. This is the essential self. It's always present. So I'm just going to ask you to just have a breath awareness. Just be aware of the breath, and yet you're not the breath. You're just aware of the breath. You're not the senses. You are perfect love. Perfect peace. You are light. Just imagine what the brightest white light is, and what that is in your imagination. The brightest light that just encompasses all things. This light, it has no beginning and it has no end. It's just presence, the presence of light. And this is you. You are this holy, sacred, radiant light. This is your beingness that is one with all things. It is one with God. It is what you are. And this light is also awareness. It's the awareness. This light. It's eternal. It's presence. It's spirit. And we can rest in this radiant light, this knowing of experience. And so I invite you right now, if there's anything that is troubling you right now, any kind of thing in your life that comes to your mind, you would like to bring into the light of truth. Just allow it to rise up, anything that might be disturbing your peace. Can you remember that the last argument you had with someone? You had some kind of words with someone. And there was an exchange, and just bring that into this experience of noticing. This place of knowing what you are and looking at that situation. Or maybe you have a health issue that has you really, all of a sudden you're looking at something in your health and you're worried about it. You don't want to talk to anyone about it because you're spiritual and you just don't want to bring words to this thing that you're looking at or this thought. Bring it into this place of presence. Just look at it and don't touch it. Just allow it to rise into the awareness. Or maybe even from what I was talking about earlier, there's something you're ashamed of, something you have shame about. You've never told anyone. You don't want to bring it into a public conversation. Bring it into this light experience. Yeah. Look at it right here. And the light will tell you what to do with it. The light will bring it up if it needs to be brought up, and it'll bring it up into a place of just dissolving it back into the nothingness that it came from. Because you are this light. You are the radiance of God. And you have this space of noticing available to you at your will. So I invite you to come back to this place in your own quiet experience. Whenever anything is disturbing your peace, whenever you need a rest, rest right here. And God will meet you right here. Because God is what you are. This light is what God is. We are one with this light. And it is good. In quiet, we receive God's word today. And into His presence, I am. And I'm going to invite everyone here, including the live streamers, to close that statement with, I am. I am. And so it is. Amen. I don't really want to come out of this state right now. I don't want to I don't want to move into some other mode. This feels very saturated. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, live streamers. I love you, man. We all love you. Why don't you guys all come up front here and just express your love to the live streamers, and let's just come close. Come close. We're not going to make a circle. We're just going to come close, 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 close. In the quiet of the experience. No running. No running. You guys we just want to, all of us right here, just want to express our love to you guys, you live streamers, to each of us. We want to extend our love to each one here. The presence feels very alive in this place right now. And thank you all for joining with us.
Thank you, Bill.
So as we close our meeting right now, we just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, divine love, Father, Mother, Presence, the beingness, the radiance of light that we are. Thank you for calling us home. Thank you for calling us to the experience of knowing and being. And we love you, each and every one. And so it is. Amen. Yep, I'm going to bless the tithes and the offering. Thank you guys for supporting us on our donation button there on the teachersofgod.org. And thank you for joining us in the love box at the back, you guys, to support this live streaming and this amazing opportunity to just be in the presence with the love of God. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And we love you. Namaste. Bye, live streamers. Thank you, everyone. I love you.
Come to the gala.
Oh, we have a gala. Come to the gala at Unity on the River.
11.